What does it mean to be spiritually complacent in the faith? In our current times, something a lot of Christians are struggling with a lukewarmness. Christ talks in Revelation of the church of Laodicea, and he says that you are neither hot nor cold. This is something that we still struggle with today, but in a different form. Nowadays, we have churches full of people, all denominations, all Christian groups, churches full. But what we are lacking is not just a spiritual conformity, but of a true presence of being in the church. We are there physically within our bodies. We are sitting in the pews, but our hearts are not in church. Our love of God is not with us in the church. And we may go every Sunday, and we may take the Eucharist, and we may read the Bible daily, but if our heart is not in these things, this is spiritual complacency. We must be constantly striving in the faith. The church fathers talk about this many times, where people are just kind of existing in the faith in this almost vacuum of good works, of doing good, of helping others. And as we know, we can never do a perfect work because we may have ill intentions or wrong intentions in doing it still, or for the attention to yourself, or the glory to yourself and not to God alone. But still, we must strive in this way to fully love others and to do good to them, and look at ourselves and realize that this is not of me, but this is of God, our Father above. This is what Christ gives us and commands us to do. We must also remember that the devil tempts us with both earthly and spiritual things. He tempts us earthly with the carnal pleasures, with lust, greed, anger, hatred of others. He'll even sometimes use spiritual means to divide us. He'll say, it's okay to hate this group. They're non-Trinitarian. They're not like Christians. It's okay to dislike them or talk ill of them. These people, they're Islam. They reject Jesus as the Christ, the Son of God. It's okay to be mean to them and argue against them and persecute them. He might say, the atheists, they reject values, the moral values that God taught us, so it's okay to hate them and dislike them. This is deception from Satan. This is not okay. This is not what Christ taught us to do. Christ taught us to love all people and to never separate us. Well, we have to separate in some ways. For example, within the church, we must separate us from people outside of the church to prevent incorrect taking of the Eucharist or incorrect beliefs being propagated. So we have to have some level, but we must never fall into hatred or dislike or lack of love for these people, because Christ commands us to love all people. He also attacks us in our spiritual sense because he says, look what others are doing. Look how others are going out to clubs and parties. Look how other people are hooking up. Look how others are smoking or drinking, and some of these things are okay within situations, like for example, within marriage, sex is blessed. It is holy. It is okay to do, but outside of marriage, it is sinful. Drinking, we can drink, but drunkenness is sin. So he tempts us because Satan knows the spiritual truth more than we can even know. He's been around for so long and tempting people for so long that we must not think that he is an easy opponent somehow to counter. He knows the Word of God, and he knows our hearts so well. And we must be on watch. We must not think that without God we can conquer him. We must know that without God we stand no chance. So we must always be with God and always be striving in the faith and strive to be closer to God.